I was in college when I was first introduced to a Christian belief by my mother. I can say that I was living a religious life back then. I never missed a Sunday worship and even experienced being baptized. However, despite this religious background, I was living a double life. I was involved in an immoral relationship with my boyfriend, which resulted in the conception of my first daughter, Danica. Out of fear, due to our strict religious background and upbringing, I kept this hidden from my parents. Inamin ko lang sa kanila na buntis ako nung kailangan ko ng manganak. Due to my parents' strong desire for me to finish medical school and to keep the family's good reputation, they took on the responsibility of raising my child as their own, keeping it a secret from everyone. So my daughter grew up knowing we are sisters. Masakit ito sa akin, pero I kept silent to protect the family's name from any tarnish. Dahil din dito, nabuhay ako na parang single at walang anak until I met G.
Growing up, I always knew right from wrong. But during my college years, I strayed far from the values I had been taught. I was deeply immersed in the excitement of college life. Partying, gabi-gabing lasing sa alak, and living without boundaries. My days were filled with late-night escapades, impulsive decisions, and a constant search for the next thrill. Until I met Benny in medical school, it didn't take long before I realized that my life needed to change. And after 10 years of being together, we finally got married in 2015.
In 2015, after completing my residency training as an OBGYN, I decided to marry GB. However, before our wedding, our relationship faced a major test when GB became involved with another woman, which nearly derailed our wedding plans. But by God's grace, we were able to resolve the issue. However, I still kept the truth about my daughter Danica from GP.
In 2016, less than a year of being married, our friends Edward and Doreen invited us to attend the Love Triangle Couples Retreat at MMRC Batangas. After the retreat, we felt incredibly blessed by the experience. I learned a crucial principle about marriage. Love is not just a feeling, it is a verb, an action word. Little did I know, magagamit ko pala itong principle na ito sa mga susunod na taon. Dahil pagdating ng 2018, after 4 years of marriage, I received a message from Benny's brother. He revealed to me that my wife has a 13-year-old daughter. When Benny confirmed the truth, my world suddenly fell apart. I felt the sting of the deepest betrayal from the person I had fully trusted and loved the most. Bigla kong pinagsisihan ang pagpapakasal ko kay Benny. Gusto ko siyang iwan ng mga panahon na yun. Feeling ko, I was betrayed not only by my wife, but also by her entire family. To make matters worse, after 4 years of marriage, we were still struggling to have our own child. And it seemed that I was the cause of this. So to protect my ego, in my mind, I wanted to prove that I can have my own child by having an affair outside marriage. My heart was overwhelmed with anger, pain, and confusion. I was completely lost.
My greatest fear has finally arrived. My darkest secret has finally been exposed to light. After 13 years of living a life of deception, everything is now out in the open. I've come to realize that my mistake have caused immense pain and damage to those I love. I've hurt my daughter Danica deeply, and now I see that I've caused significant pain to my husband GP. In my mind, this feels like a deep wound that may never fully heal, and forgiveness seems like an impossible dream.
At the lowest point in my life, I began to question God. Akala ko talaga dati nakilala ko na siya kasi lumaki akong palasimba at religyoso. But this painful experience led me to a deeper realization. I only had a religion, not a personal relationship with Jesus. Behind the clean image I presented to the world, I was trapped in immorality, enslaved by lust, pornography, alcohol, greed, and pride. I was living a life completely separated from God. This realization stirred something in me, opening my heart to seek out who the Jesus of the Bible truly is. It sparked a deep hunger to know Him more intimately. Looking back, I now realize that God used my longtime friend, Edward, to reveal who Jesus really is. I even traveled from my hometown in Mindoro to Manila just to talk with him about Jesus. As my desire to learn more about the Bible grew, it slowly began to overshadow the pain and hurt I was going through. I realized that I had also been unfaithful to my wife. Considering my own shortcomings, who was I to withhold forgiveness? Eventually, I chose to forgive Benny and fully surrendered my life to Jesus.
At that time, I believed we would never have a happy marriage life again. But God, in His sovereignty, showed us otherwise. We came to understand that He can use even the darkest situation to bring about something good. What once seemed impossible became possible under God's mighty hand. By His grace, this experience became a means of God's to reveal Himself to our family. I began to see a transformation in GP. He was becoming a new man. Little did I know, he was already growing in the knowledge and love of Jesus. I also asked forgiveness from my daughter Danica, and since then, we have been working on rebuilding our mother-daughter relationship. I've also learned to forgive myself and my parents as well. Slowly, God healed the deep wound in our family, bringing life and joy in a place that had been barren, with deception and lies. As God continued to restore our family, He blessed us with another daughter, Grace.
Our daughter Grace was the answer to our long-term prayers. Indeed, God's faithfulness has showered us with blessings and healing. However, the arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic brought us new challenges. Our family faced tremendous hardship when my father and mother passed away consecutively. To make things even more heartbreaking, we lost the heartbeat of our unborn baby at 8 months while Benny was still carrying our child. Once again, my faith in God was deeply shaken. Countless nights of tears became woven into our life story. The pain was overwhelming, but this time felt different. Because we held onto the truth that God is always faithful, we believe that He would use this painful experience for His glory. True to His promise, after all ups and downs, God blessed us once more, this time with a son whom we named Lucas. Our marriage may not be perfect, but we continue to trust and worship a perfect God. We are committed to growing in faith, regularly attending our weekly online big group meetings. They became our spiritual family that plays a crucial role in our personal walk with Christ. God continues to use us to share His faithfulness with our colleagues and extended families. When we asked to share our testimony for this event, we eagerly accepted the opportunity to reveal how Jesus has been at the center of it all. I am JP,
And I am Benny, once a slave with lies and deception,
now a
now
recipient
recipient of God's faithfulness and forgiveness.